Stunning revelations involving civil rights icon Cesar Chavez that are having ripple effects across communities, including here in Portland.
Sexual assault allegations are now coming to light involving Chavez, who was known for his work improving wages, living conditions, and health care for generations of farm workers in California and across the nation. Tonight, a New York Times report alleges that Chavez sexually abused and groomed women and underage girls for years. Among his alleged victims, famed labor rights leader Dolores Huerta, who helped co-found the National Farm Workers Association, which later became the United Farm Workers Union.
In a statement, the 95-year-old says that she's kept silent for 60 years to avoid hurting the farm worker movement that she spent her entire life fighting for. She claims that Chavez's sexual assaults led to 2 pregnancies, which she kept hidden by giving up the children for 2 other families to raise. The claims have stunned supporters and drawn immediate calls for change to memorials and events honoring Cesar Chavez Day at the end of the month. Well, those stunning allegations, again, having a major impact here at home as well.
Fox 12's Vince Ibarra shares how local leaders and organizations are responding to the claims. He joins us live in studio. Vince?
Yeah, well, guys, reaction from these allegations have poured in. The big question everyone is asking, is it possible to celebrate a man who inspired so much change but is accused of some serious crimes? Bombshell accusations regarding civil rights activist Cesar Chavez. The New York Times reports the American labor leader allegedly spent years sexually abusing minors.
I think that for those of us that see ourselves as Chicanos or Mexican Americans, we're really losing someone here. And I think the shock and the hurt is national.
On Wednesday, Dolores Huerta, an activist and the co-founder of the National Farm Workers Association alongside Chavez, shared her own personal accounts of abuse. In a social media post, she said she was assaulted by Chavez twice, which resulted in her getting pregnant both times. She said she offered the children to families who could properly care for them.
In her 90s, able to finally speak this truth. That takes real courage.
The allegations come less than 2 weeks before the nationally recognized day honoring Chavez. Portland City Councilor Candace Avalos shared on a personal social media account she has begun looking into the process and talking with community leaders about renaming Cesar Chavez Boulevard to Dolores Huerta Boulevard. The council voted to change the name of 39th Avenue in Northeast and Southeast Portland to celebrate Chavez more than 15 years ago. The co-chair of the committee to change the street name says they're devastated.
We're trying to digest all this information that we are learning, and we will figure out how to go forward.
As those impacted try to move forward, Portland State University professor Mark Rodriguez says Chicanx and Latinx studies should add this new information.
I think that any teaching about this movement will have to deal with the facts, which are impressive. You know, the success of that boycott was impressive, but I also think there's going to need to be an acknowledgement.
And more reaction. Oregon's Farm Workers Union executive director says, quote, "We stand with the survivor of Chavez's harmful actions and with those reckoning with the gravity of these confirmed allegations." She goes on to say the union will not partake in celebrating the late civil rights activist. Brielle?